What's up guys, hope you're doing great. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take the look at the X-Lead preamp pedals from AMT, and we have 4 preamps in 3 pedals. So first one is AMT B-Lead, which represents the Bogner Überschall preamp. Next we have AMT R S-Lead, which R represents for Mesa and S represents for Soldano. So we have Mesa and Soldano preamp in this pedal. And then we have AMT D-Lead, which is Diezel preamp. I'm not sure which Diezel to be precise, but I would say one of the channels from the Diezel VH4. If you're new to the channel, my name is Peter and I do all sorts of things related to guitar, metal music, audio production, gear review and stuff like that. So make sure to click like, subscribe to this channel, and of course take a look at the previous videos and stay tuned for the next ones. As always, in the description of this video you can find the timestamps for each of the parts of this video, so you can skip around and go straight to the thing that's more interesting to you. So in case if you're not familiar with AMT, AMT is a company based in Russia. They've been building some pedals, preamps and amps, and they've released in the past some pretty amazing products, and their latest addition to the lineup is the X-Lead and X-Clean pedals, which are preamp pedals, and I have 3 of X-Lead pedals here for me to demo and show it to you. This is not a sponsored post or anything. I bought these pedals myself, and yeah, I will be absolutely honest with you how it goes. So before going on to the detailed review, here is the short song that I made using my favorite pedal out of all these, AMT B-Lead, and hope you enjoy it. So before going on to the sound demo, let's have a look at what these pedals offer, what are the features, how they're built and so on. So the pedal themselves, or all the other pedals from X series, are built completely metal with some rubber pieces for the knobs. They're built like a tank and they have a nice chunky weight to them. They're actually smaller pedal than, for example, my Overdrive pedal, so maybe you can compare the size and see. But yeah, they're quite nicely built, like a Russian tank, like a small Russian tank. Okay, let's go over the inputs and outputs. So we have a regular input, and on the other side we have output. We have 9 volt, not 9, 12 volt input. We have a clicky switch. We have 5 knobs for controlling the volume and gain, and then from left to right, from right to left, we have low, mid, and high EQ controls. And the mid control is a bit tricky to get to and adjust. I always touch other knobs, so that's a bit problematic in my book. There is this black metal bar that protects the knobs from your foot, I would say. And then there is this special thing. It's a tube, an actual tube in the pedal, and the tube themselves is Electro Harmonix 12 AX7 or some variant from the other brand, so it doesn't have to be Electro Harmonix in the pedal. In my case, all of 3 pedals have the same tube. Then we have a special switch here, which offers you to switch between the drive and the preamp mode. So basically, when you're in the drive mode, you're supposed to use this pedal directly into the clean amp, so directly into the amp without, any trouble, straight into the amp. And then if you have an effects loop, then you switch to preamp mode and you go into the effects loop. That's more or less it. At the bottom there is this connector, which is a proprietary thing special for these pedals. So AMT offers a pedal board kind of, which has the connectors to connect to these, and you basically plug and play all these pedals together, and it's supposed to work magically and switching and so on. But I think they should have provided some kind of closing or rubber closing or whatever for this, because you can maybe, I'm not sure if you can see, but the connector is completely open. So if it gets in touch with some liquid, I would say, yeah, electricity and liquid, bye-bye. And another special thing that only the AMT RS pedal has is this RS switch. So basically, when you are on the S switch, this pedal emulates Soldano Slow 100. And when you are on the R switch, this pedal emulates Mesa Rectifier, I think. Yeah, it's R, so it's a rectifier emulation. But yeah, that's more or less it about the build quality and the features these pedals have. So let's move on to the demo. So the approach I took for demoing this pedal is that I recorded my comparison TAT2 with bare knuckle juggernauts straight into my audio interface, so basically recorded clean DI signal, which I then used to reamp through pedals, going into the effects loop of my Alani Ironheart 60, going into Torpedo Captor, and then into the Dove, and I used On Hammer IRs. So in that case, the only difference in the chain and between the takes and demo are the pedals themselves. So you can hear only what the pedal is doing, and everything else is unaffected and it stays the same. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the sound demo and the mix and everything, and you decided which one you like the most. So here's my opinion on these pedals. I like how they sound, and I especially like how this Bogner preamp sounds. It's the best one out of the three that I tested. I really like the harmonic content they provide in the high end, and these are actually digital pedals with a tube, so they're kind of a mixture, a hybrid between the digital and analog. And I think it helps quite a lot to bring that life into them, and especially in the high end, because the high end in digital preamps and VSTs and whatever sounds a bit too fizzy to me, too artificial, and sometimes it's too spiky, it hurts my ears. So I always, like 95% of the time, I cut off everything above 10 kilohertz. In these pedals, the high end and that fizz sounds really like a real amp fizz up top, and it's not as pronounced, it's much more harmonically richer, and I like it much more, definitely. So in these demos and so on, I really didn't have to cut all that stuff out up top. So that's an amazing thing for myself, and I really like how they respond to playing. Okay, so let's talk about each of the pedals separately. I'll start with the one that I like the most. In my case, it's AMT B-Lead, which emulates Bogner Überschall, and I'm really in love with this pedal. It's perfect for my needs and my playing. I really like how tight it is and punchy and has a lot of gain on tap. So that's something I really appreciated about this pedal. I especially love when you put the overdrive in front of it, it tightens up even more. So you can get those crazy modern metal tones like very easily. And yeah, I think that a lot of the genty boys will appreciate this pedal if they try it out, definitely. It sounds very close to an actual Bogner Überschall. Of course, it's never going to sound exactly the same. That's not even the point. But it sounds close, and if you're on a budget, it's a very good deal. I'm not sure how it compares to an actual Bogner Überschall preamp pedal, but that's something I might do in the future. So I might compare this one to the actual Bogner Überschall. Yeah, it's very harmonically rich amp. It can clean up quite nicely, so you can get those crunchy tones as well. But then once you get, I don't know, from 9, 10 and up, it gets into those crazy tight metal sounds and modern stuff. I like how the mid and high knob behave in this pedal, because the mids are just pushing, I would say, maybe upper mids rather than lower mids, and they're just cutting. This pedal cuts through the mix with no problems. So yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. This is a keeper in my case, so I won't be keeping all of these pedals because I don't have needs for all of them, but this one will stay in my rig probably for a very long time. Okay, so let's talk about the AMT R S-Lead. So let's talk about the Mesa Rectifier first. And I'll be completely honest, this isn't what I expected, and I'm not completely thrilled with it, but it still sounds close to the real amp. How close, I'll leave it for you to judge. I would say that the character is there, so the overall characteristics of the Mesa, flabby low end, a bit of fizziness up top, and gain. But gain on this pedal is just not enough compared to the real thing, and of course it's never going to be. The real thing is like huge, and this is a very small pedal. But anyway, the characteristics are there. The low end on this pedal is actually tighter than on real thing, which makes sense, I would say. And the mids control are a bit different than the mids in the real thing. Here it's a bit more pronounced rather than the real thing. The highs are a bit, I would say, a bit too fizzy for my taste, and they're actually fizzier than the highs in the real thing. But yeah, it's a good pedal nonetheless, but I just don't like it that much. It gets better as you put overdrive in front, like the real amp. So as you push with an overdrive, like a clean boost, it opens up, it gets into a more modern metal and chuggy chugfest. but it's still not as good as the Bogner one. I would say Bogner one stole the show for me. Same thing for the Soldano preamp. They sound pretty similar. I never tried Soldano in real life, so I cannot judge how it sounds. But the differences between the Mesa in this preamp and Soldano are not that big. And the only difference I could hear is that Soldano has a bit more gain and that it's much more scooped in the mids. And that's it. That's what I heard in the mix, in the demo and so on. So yeah, I cannot judge the Soldano one that much because I never tried the actual Soldano, but I'll leave it to you guys to judge and see if you like it or not. And for the end, let's talk about the AMT D-Lead, which is a Diezel emulation. And oh boy, this is a different one. I never actually liked how the Diezel amps sound. They were too dark for my taste, not enough mid, like super skewed, too much low end, not enough highs, sometimes too much gain, and I just couldn't get usable tones out of it. This is actually the same thing in this pedal. It definitely sounds like a Diezel amp in terms of character. The gain, not as much. The real thing has much more gain than this one, and yeah, this one just doesn't have enough gain or not enough push. The low end is, to be honest, I didn't notice that much of a difference in the low end knob when dialing it in or out. I didn't get it much more clearer or something. In most of the tones that I used, I pushed mids all the way up and I still didn't get enough mids, so there's that. And the high didn't actually open up the amp as much as I thought it's going to be. So yeah, in my personal opinion, this is the biggest disappointment of the X-Lead pedals. So if I would rate the pedals, it would be like Bogner, then the Mesa, and then in the end the Diezel one. The fourth AMT X-Lead pedal, I think it was JCM 800. I didn't buy, I couldn't find it, so maybe that one, gets better. But this one, I didn't like it. Maybe some of you guys like that dark tone that the Diezel offer, but for my taste in my playing, it's too dark. I just cannot handle that much low end. So we come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the demo and the review of these pedals. As I already said, I liked the Bogner the most, Diezel the least. And yeah, I hope that you can judge what you like the most out of the videos. If you have any comments or questions, or you just want to say I agree, I disagree with you about these pedals, drop them down in the comment section. I would really appreciate like and subscribe, because it's going to push my channel a bit and it provides me more option to make more videos and motivation for myself as well. And yeah, I hope in the future I will be getting more AMT pedals to review. And yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe comparing AMT B-Lead with the actual Bogner Überschall preamp pedal. That's a good option to try out and see how it all looks. Let me know if you like that. And yeah, stay safe in these times, crazy times, and yeah, hope to see you soon again.